Well, folks, I'm here with Ellen Datlow. She's been editing science fiction, fiction, horror, short fiction for 4 decades. She was a fiction editor of Omni Magazine and Sci Fiction, and currently acquires short stories and novellas for Tor.com, Nightfire. She's edited many anthologies for adults, young adults, and children, including the Best Horror of the Year series in Echoes, the Saga Anthology of Ghost Stories, Final Cuts, New Tales of Hollywood Horror and Other Spectacles, and the reprint anthologies edited by and Body Shocks. She's won multiple Locus, Hugo, Stoker, International Horror Guild, Shirley Jackson, and World Fantasy Awards, plus the 2012 El Posto Nero Black Spot Award for Excellence as Best Foreign Editor. Datlow was named recipient of the 2007 Carl Edward Wagner Award, given at the British Fantasy Convention for outstanding contribution to the genre, and was honored with Lifetime Achievement given by Horror Writers Association in acknowledgement of superior achievement over an entire career, and honored with the World Fantasy Life Achievement Award at the 2014 World Fantasy Convention. She runs the Fantastic Fiction at KGB Reading Series in the East Village of New York City with Matthew Kressel. She can be found on Twitter and on Facebook. Just Google her, you'll find Ellen. We're here to talk to Ellen about a number of things, but one of them is the fact that her most recent work, Echoes, the Saga Anthology of Ghost Stories by Gallery and Saga Press, it's on the final ballot in the category of Superior Achievement in Anthology for this year's Stoker Awards. We all know that we're not going to be gathering together in Scarborough for the Stoker Con, so we're going to chat to Ellen all about this book. And also, we'll start with how are things going with you in your life with the current restrictions because of the pandemic. First of all, Ellen, welcome. And where are you coming from today?
I'm coming from my living room, which is also my office in New York City, Manhattan, the Far West Village. And we mentioned that I work with KGB. I do the KGB Fantastic Fiction series in person. Well, last month we did our very first one as a live stream on YouTube Live. We had a reading, and we're going to do it next week also. We have Michael Sisko and someone else. It's like, oh my God, I forgot. Clay, I forgot his middle name, McLeod.
So that's a result of the restrictions you had.
Yes, we're doing, and it was fine. Last month went really well. We had like 40 people attending. You could see who was there, and we had a Q&A afterwards. So it was a lot of fun, and I was able to drink. I don't drink alone, but I felt I can have a drink while we're doing KGB. So it's my one time a month, or if I meet people online. I've been meeting a lot of people virtually online from all over the world, actually, friends and writers.
And what's going on sort of outside your apartment? I mean, what is it like living and getting around?
It's weird. I mean, people have been reporting hearing a lot of ambulances around the city, but luckily I haven't. I don't know why. I mean, I keep my windows closed partly because I can't open it. I have trouble figuring, it's too hard to open, but I haven't heard any of that. It's pretty deserted. I live on a kind of a main street. I mean, 9th Avenue, which turns into Hudson Street. Right now, I just hear, there are buses that go by. It's pretty quiet. There are some restaurants on my block. There's a Spanish one that I believe, or a Mexican one that is doing delivery, and a pizza place, a really gourmet pizza place that I love going to, just opened up for delivery. And so I'm not having any trouble getting food. I may not get exactly what I want, but it's pretty quiet, and my life isn't all that much different than usual because I work from home. So the big difference is every day when I'm allowed to go out, I have to go across town errand thing, go to my PO box, go to various supermarkets and pick up and go to the green market. So I haven't been able to do that. I have been trying to take a walk around the block every day just to get out and get some air.
And when you do that, do you feel the need to wear masks and gloves and all that?
I have my own little mask that I make, from the directions with 2 hair pulls. And usually I don't see many people if we avoid each other. And I was going into, there's an English grocery store around the corner from Myers of Keswick. And I would go there and buy some meat pies and things. But they're closing Saturday. So luckily I was able to go yesterday and pick up some of the last things I had was some sausages. And everyone's wearing masks inside.
Yeah.
And they're only allowing, like, it's a small place. They only allow about 5 people in at a time. And I've gone, it's been empty. So most places where I am going are limiting. I mean, they're definitely limiting customers. There's the closest supermarket to me is a D'Agostino's, maybe 3-4 blocks away. And I went there a few weeks ago and I was not happy with that. The customers were fine, but the clerks were like not wearing masks and no gloves. It's like, are you kidding me? And now, I mean, I don't know if they do, but I know a lot of the supermarkets now have plexiglass.
Yeah.
And everyone's wearing gloves and masks. So I feel better if I have to go out to get something.
Sure. So if that's your surroundings, what about within your workspace and your headspace? Is the restrictions, as you mentioned, not that different because you work from home, or how is it affecting your flow of work and your input?
It's hard for me to focus. I mean, it's always hard for me to focus, but especially now. I mean, Twitter is a constant, pull of what's going on. I have no deadlines right now, thank goodness. I mean, I have one deadline. I have to finish the intro for my Body Shocks anthology. But other than that, I don't have that many deadlines, so that's good and bad. I'm starting to read for the best horror of the year. The biggest change for me that I don't like is that I can't go out with friends to the movies, to the theater, to dinners, to meals. But I've been meeting a lot more people in virtual chats around the world. I mean, people who I don't usually see in person. I mean, who I don't see in person, but I'm able to see them like this in a virtual chat. And my sister and I got on, I can't remember, I think it was FaceTime the other day, and we got our mom on there too. And so first time I'd seen her since I'd been down there in January. She lives in Florida. My sister and I was supposed to go down there May 6th, but that was canceled. So it was actually nice seeing my mom's face, because even when I talk to her on the phone almost every day, but I don't see her. So that was fun.
Yeah, nice. One of the things some of our fellow horror writers have mentioned is, yes, it's not that different. They're on their screen, they're working when they're focusing on their work, but we all want a little good news. And so we're curious when either the Twitter comes across or some feed comes in and it's like, oh, is there anything good that's happening? Oh God, no, it's another death count or another this or that. And some folks are better than others about blocking out the outside world when it comes. We can't block it out exactly, and that's obviously one of the reasons why we're not going to StokerCon. So, but this is one of the reasons why John Polisano and I wanted to do these chats, is give folks like you an opportunity to talk about the work of yours that made the final ballot for the Stoker Award. Give us some backstories on it. Give us a little bit of the inspiration. So would you go into detail a little bit about Echoes, the Saga Anthology of Ghost Stories by Gallery and Saga Press? Now's your chance to.
And here it is.
Yeah,
it's a very big book.
It is. Yeah.
It's huge. It's like almost 800 pages. And my editor is Joe Monte, and I had done an original ghost story anthology for Tor called The Dark several years ago, and it did pretty well for them. And then I did a reprint anthology of ghost stories for Tachyon called Hauntings. And I always wanted to do another original ghost story anthology, so I approached Joe about it, and he was really eager to do it. And there are 3 reprints. There are 2 classics and 1 contemporary reprint, but all the rest are originals, and it was just a lot of fun to do. I mean, I got a lot of people who I haven't worked with before, kind of a good mix of writers, people like Aliette de Baudard, who I've never published, and Alice Hoffman, since I got an original story from her. So, I mean, it was something I wanted to do, another ghost story anthology. And Joe kept saying, it could be bigger. I was like, it can be bigger. I said, are you sure? And it ended up like 226,000 words, and it's very big. It's in trade paperback also. And Joyce Carol Oates has a story in it. It's got like, I think 29, about 30 stories, most of them original. And so that was what the impulse was, that I love ghost stories, and I wanted to do another ghost story anthology. So that's how that came about.
Who did the cover art? Sorry to interrupt. The cover art looks
I mean, it's really striking in person. The jacket design is by someone named Greg Stadnick. And the photograph is a stock photo. But it's really beautiful. I mean, it's got this texture, you know, this um, perspective. It's real. And
Yeah,
look at this. I mean, I thought they did a beautiful. That's really cool.
that is
Isn't that
nice.
lovely
Yeah,
the way they did that?
yeah.
And it's not raised, but it's the yellow is that smooth, and the black is that rough material of paper.
Right, right.
Whatever you
Yes.
call it. So
So
I mean, I think they did a beautiful job. You can't really appreciate it without holding, without seeing it in person. But they did a gorgeous job on it, I think. And all the writers are on here.
good. And where is it available?
It should be available. It's definitely available as an ebook, and all places like Amazon. Hopefully, local bookstores would have them. But I know you can order them online from
Yeah.
various places. They're available. It's available. So, and I know it's an ebook. It's not an audio book, and I don't know who's going to do it as an audio book because it's so large. It would be a lot of discs. So I'm not sure anyone's going to be able. They may have to do it in 2 volumes or something if someone does it as an audio. But right now it's available as an ebook, trade paperback, and hardcover.
So you've obviously been involved in the Horror Writers Association for a while. How many nominations is this for you now with this book? Do you keep count anymore?
I don't know, but people always think I've won more than I have. I've only won maybe 4, I think, or something like that. And people think just because I'm nominated, I win all the time, but that's not true. You know? I did win last year, and I was very happy for The Devil in the Deep. But I think I've won around 4, possibly. You know,
Well,
as far as nominations, I don't remember. I'm sorry, I don't remember. I'd have to look it up.
so some
But
of
I
us
was very
keep
pleased to
track of
be nominated.
nominations.
Sorry.
Some of us do because we haven't quite reached the level of achievement as you have. Some of us do keep track of those nominations because
I
it's
know, and
all
they should, and we all should. And I always say, and I really believe it. I mean, it's kind of silly. Maybe it's silly, but I always say, you're a winner if you're nominated. You're a winner till you lose.
there you
You know,
go.
we're all the nominees are winners. You know, until
Well,
the time it
yeah, and to
counts.
that end, we do need to make reference that the Stoker Awards will be streamed live on the Horror Writers Association YouTube station on the 18th. The link will become available, and Ellen, we wish you the best of luck.
Right.
Uh, we're,
Thank you.
we're not done yet because
Oh, okay.
we do want to chat a little bit about one of these things that writers love to do, which is always look for a silver lining. You know, even though it's not that big a difference to be locked up in your apartment, in your office, have you found anything different that you might keep doing afterwards you're allowed out, or is there any silver lining that you found that is pretty cool that in the change in your routine?
Well, the weird thing is I found all these places to order food from. I mean, I know that seems silly, but I don't cook that much. I do cook sometimes, but I really bring in food mostly, and I have been using a lot of different delivery services. And now that I know I can order my pizza, and save half for the next day by
Yeah.
freezing it. Um, and I just discovered I could order from Murray's Cheese. I didn't order cheese, but I ordered other stuff. This is not something that I've discovered that's good, but I'm discovering that I'm having a hard time getting good bread that I like. I love bread,
Yeah.
and I love certain kinds of bread, and I can't find it. I'm hoping. I just ordered 2 loaves of bread from Murray's today around delivery at 5, but with some other stuff. But I'm hoping, because last time I ordered from another place, I forget where, Whole Foods, I got everything, but I didn't get my bread. I had ordered 2 loaves of rye bread, and they didn't have it. So that's kind of the downside, but the upside is that I can order. That there are all these mechanisms to order on, if you don't want to go out, and if you
Sure.
don't have enough groceries, if you don't feel like cooking. There's all kind of stuff you can order in. So, I mean, I know that's really trivial, but hey,
No, it's
as a
not.
New Yorker, I appreciate it.
It's not at all. We're trying to touch on the human spirit and how our fellow horror writers are managing. And this is a serious time, and especially for New York. You're the only writer that I've done an interview with in New York
Editor,
City.
yes.
And so, we don't really have an idea what's going on. What do you think is going to be the fallout, like in your
I,
neighborhood? How's
I
life going
think
to
a
get
lot of
back to
places,
normal?
small restaurants are going to go under, I'm afraid. There are some good restaurants that are trying to make it through delivery. I don't know if they will. I mean, I'm trying to tip. I'm definitely tipping more than I would ever tip. Because sometimes there's an automatic tip when you get a delivery, and I don't know how much those people actually get. So I actually hand them like a $20 or $10 bill, which is something I usually wouldn't give them that much. But I think small places are going to go under. The economy is, I can't believe how many people have died in New York City.
Yeah.
I mean, and being isolated here, I guess it's such a private thing. You don't know. You don't see it. I mean, because no one's around. It's not like there are crowds all over the place and you see suddenly fewer crowds. I mean, it is because everyone's self-isolating. But as far as the death, I think so far, knock on wood, no one who I've been no friends have died, as far as I know. Or even, I have a few friends, not in New York, but I know a few people who've gotten sick with it. Yeah. And they seem to be doing okay. I think that's going to have a lot of impact on everyone, who dies, who we lose during this period of time.
Yeah.
So right now we don't know, and I can't predict it. And I worry about the theater. I mean, I was supposed to go to the theater I was supposed to see like 3 shows, 2 last month and 1 next month. And the one next month, I'm sure it's going to be, postponed or canceled. And poor Broadway. I mean, those people, they may not be able to put those shows that were opening, or even they won't. I don't know if they'll be able to stay open. I mean, the economy of New York is going to be really bad. It's going to be really.
I guess that's where we hope the stimulus package that now you're hearing about a 4th round.
Maybe if it goes to the right people. I mean, if it keeps going to the rich and to the corporations, it's not going to help anyone but the corporations, and they don't deserve it, frankly.
You're right. It sounds like you've got a pretty strong governor that will fight pretty hard for you guys, though, which is
as much as we may not like him usually. Hey, he's doing a pretty damn good job. I mean, not for everybody. I mean, he's lagging on the prison stuff and other things, but he's trying. At least he seems to be in control, which is unlike other people we know in office.
We won't turn this into
we won't go into that, no.
Listen, nonetheless, thank you for taking your time and giving us a glimpse into how you as an editor are handling this. Again, we wish you great success at the Stoker Awards, and again, best of luck.
I hope I see you soon in person.
I know that it's always fun to see you at these things. So we'll see what begins. It may be Denver next year. Who knows?
Right. I know. Well, StokerCon, I think they're planning on doing it in August, but I'm not going to England in August. I mean, I'm still not good doing it. I canceled my tickets and everything.
Yeah, me too. I think that's out for me. But listen, thank you again for your time.
You're very welcome.
All righty.
It's been fun.